Welcome to a somewhat belated edition of the Final Wager for Thursday, July 10th, and I'm here at my high school, Burton Academy, in beautiful Manchester, Vermont, where I've commandeered a whiteboard in the history department to film this installment. Thursday we had Campbell in the lead at 15,400, Pete at 13,600, and Jen at 10,600. It's a very interesting situation. We'll dive right in. Pete doubles up. I have so much space. Jeez, got 27,200. So Campbell will need to wager 11,800 to cover him. Now, if he's wrong with that wager, he's going to be left with 3,600. So that means Pete can wager up to 10,000. And Jen can wager up to 7,000. Now we look at second and third. Pete and Jen. If Jen doubles up, she will have 21,200. So to cover her, Pete will need to wager 7,600. We'll make that his minimum. If he's wrong with that wager, he's going to be left with 6,000. So that means that Jen can wager up to 4,600. All right, now for rule number 3. First, we look at Jen and Pete. They're separated by 3,000. Jen could wager 3,000 to cover a 0 wager by Pete, and 6,000 to cover an unsafe wager by Pete. Pete and Campbell are separated by 1,800, but neither 1,800 nor 3,600 falls into that acceptable range here, so we'll ignore it for now. Now let's look at mind games. And we'll do this in the same order, first and second. Let's assume that Pete is going to wager this maximum 10,000 amount. He'll have 23,600, so to cover that, Campbell could wager 8,200. If he's wrong with that wager, he'll be left with 7,200. So to stay above that, Pete could wager up to 6,400. And Jen could wager up to 3,400. So we'll make that her new max down here. For second and third now. Let's assume, well, Jen has two different ranges from our first step. She can wager up to 4,600, or she can wager up to 7,000. So if she wants to wager 4,600, start there. She will have 15,200. So to cover that, Pete will need to wager at least 1,600. We'll put that over here. She could also wager 7,000, which would put her at 17,600, so Pete would need to wager 4,000. We'll put that one here. We'll also move the 1,600 down here. Now, if he's wrong with those two wagers, let's start with the 4,000. He'll have 9,600. Jen could wager up to 1,000 if she thinks that Pete will go for this smallish amount. And if he wagers 1,600? You'll be left with 12,000, which is more than what Jen has now, but she already has ranges that are acceptable to cover such a wager. Finally, we look at rule number 3. We don't know what the top level is here. We'll look in a second. We've already covered Pete and Jen. They're separated by 3,000. What about Campbell and Pete? Separated by 1,800. To cover a 0 wager, we'll make that Pete's new minimum wager down here in this third level. And the 3,600 amount, he'll need to wager at least that, but this range is covered here. And the other thing he's going to want to take into account is he is leading Jen by 3,000, so he's not going to want to wager more than 3,000 if he wants to pick this range. So we'll cap that there, and that's the final rule number 3 analysis. And here are our potential wagers. This one here is Jen's best, just in case Pete goes for this 7,600 amount. As you know, our players could have tied. We had 3 excellent wagers. Jen went for 7,000, got it right. Pete went for 10,000 but got it wrong. And Campbell also went for the lockout, no tie, 11,800. We would have had a 3-way tie had Jen missed. She had to get it right though. And 2 new players are very happy that she did so, otherwise all 3 would have come back on Friday. Lots of fun. Very interesting to see so many tie opportunities this week. And we'll see what happens next time on the Final Wager.